Hi everyone. Here in Illinois, we are now into our fourth week of a shelter in place, and I hope that this video post finds you wherever you're at in the world or United States, well and healthy and doing the best you can with what you have in each moment to get through our current pandemic crisis. I also want to take the opportunity to thank those who occupations or day-to-day workers that we take for granted just as we go through our hurried lives. And that would be your transportation people, your postal workers, restaurant employees, grocery stores, manufacturing, everything that keeps this economy and our wants and needs going and met on a daily basis. For today's Wednesday Wisdom Post, however, I would like to talk about being on the front lines and smashing the stigma associated with mental health issues. Particularly, I want to focus on the first responder world, the healthcare workers, the doctors and nurses, everybody that's out there right now that are probably very exhausted because they're working long hours, having to deal with the influx of COVID-19 cases. And I'm going to start with talking about the most recent episode of SWAT, which was last week, which was titled Stigma. And the plot line involved the SWAT team going on horrific calls, experiencing those, as well as actively searching for the whereabouts of a former team member who they believe was going to harm himself and even possibly up to suicide. At the end of this episode, it did work out well. They did find the co-worker and they were able to talk him getting in the help that he really so desperately needed just to set his journey back or restart it for him in the best way possible. The team members also had to go through debriefing, counseling, and each one of them told their different side of the story and how they felt that this is a good thing. I should have done this a long time ago. One of the characters that then, David Deacon, talked about how when he was going through a lot of financial difficulties that he was feeling that he was letting people down, letting his family down, and he even thought about harming or taking his own life because of that. Now I'm going to tell you this from a personal standpoint as a retired lieutenant paramedic with a fire department after 25 years. I also am actively involved with the Illinois Firefighter Peer Support Team, and it's so near and dear to my heart because I did lose a colleague and a friend to suicide, and I had to respond to that call. It took me many years of struggle to find my way to counseling, but eventually I did, and it was the best thing I could do. Now, when it comes to that stigma that they were talking about in that episode, or that they really focused on, is very much an issue with first responder world, because we are always the ones that are the helpers. We're the ones that are the doers, solving people's problems. It doesn't matter whether you're a dispatcher, a firefighter, a police officer, a paramedic, healthcare worker. And many times when we start recognizing that we do have our own struggles and we don't really have optimal mental health, we are still fearful of going and seeking that help, or openly and in an authentic and vulnerable way voicing that, hey, I don't have this today. I really need help. And why? Because we feel that we will be perceived as being weak, or that we may lose our job. And when it comes to a police officer, taking their gun away from them, putting them on desk duty, taking them off the street, that's very real issues. So let me tell you that when I did it, or when any of those characters in that episode, and I encourage you to go back and find it on CBS On Demand, it's, again, Stigma, and it is the television show SWAT. What the counselor said to one of the characters, this was one of the most courageous things that you probably ever did, to admit that you need help just resetting your bearings. So at the along with this video, I'm going to also list several links to awesome stigma smashers. A couple of them that are running a mental health awareness campaign right now are Annette Zapp of Fire Rescue Fitness and Chris Morella of Fourth Shift Fitness. And we have Wendy Lund, who's doing a free program, Reach for Resiliency, for family and friends version. And it's an awesome program. And I encourage you to look into this, especially if you are a first responder, the significant other or spouse of the first responder, or a family member, or you know somebody who's a first responder. They could benefit if you feel that they are struggling, or you could see that. And even if they're just going through mental exhaustion because of the current pandemic, there's going to be several resources that I'm going to give you, many of which I'm involved in. If you need a little bit further guidance, you could just reach out to me. I'll sit and chat with you on Zoom, whatever it takes to get you the help that you need. Again, take care, be well, and I'll see you next time.